from Fabulous Paper Emporium. I'm here today to show you this wonderful pop-out gatefold. A couple of days ago, we made a gatefold, just your regular run-of-the-mill gatefold. And so this one kind of takes it to the next level. And we've decided to use Simple Stories because it's just come in. The Simple Stories Simple Vintage Country Harvest. And I used the 6x8 paper pad to make this. And it's definitely got a lot of stunning papers in here. Of course, they're double-sided. And you still have your cut-aparts, which I know there are a few in here. I've already kind of run through here and obviously picked out quite a few of the designer papers already. But hopefully I'll be doing a little bit of a more in-depth look at this particular collection. I have the 6x8, obviously. There's 24 pages in here. I do have as well the 12x12 collection pack. I have the Ephemera, which I will also be using some bits and pieces of today. And then I also brought in the banner, and the banner stickers are quite lovely. They are bigger. I'm trying to finagle it out of the pack that I have it in. So this is the banner stickers, and the reason for it, like, this is one huge sticker, and the word fall comes, like the word fall and this background, this white background, actually is perforated, so you could pop that fall up on a dimensional and have that kind of raised. There's some really beautiful larger stickers in this pack, so definitely good for things like scrapbooking, or if you made an album or folio. So hopefully I will be digging into that very shortly. But for now, we are going to focus on this pop-out gatefold. I've made mine with a belly band. I'm kind of a sucker for belly bands. And it just kind of keeps your card folded and intact until the recipient decides to open it. And so it opens. So you take the belly band off, and then it opens like this. So I've got beautiful fall inspired paper with the leaves and this beautiful gingham. And while there doesn't appear to be anywhere here that you would be writing your sentiments or stamping, you can put that on the back side. So I chose to leave these two panels blank. I'm not quite sure what I'm doing with them yet, so I've left those blank because I will be giving this to somebody this weekend for Thanksgiving. It is the Canadian Thanksgiving this weekend, so I'm doing a series of lovely Thanksgiving fall inspired cards, things like that. So for yesterday's video, I had done the double Z fold or double Z fold, and today we've got this beautiful pop out gatefold. And then I think tomorrow I may kind of deviate from the cards for a little bit and go with a scrapbook layout. So we may be looking, or you should be looking for that. That's to come. So I'm going to set this one aside. We'll go through some of the pieces. I've gone ahead and already assembled the layers that need to go on the card. Just to save a little bit of time. And yeah, so here is the orange cardstock that I used for the base, and it really sets off all the other colors, I feel. It's a beautiful fall color. So for this base, we've got sorry, words are not coming right now. We do have our base, and that is 12x6. And we will be scoring this together. I also, for the belly band, cut a piece that is 12 by 1.5. And then the last piece, which I didn't include on this one, but I feel like I will on this one that we're doing today, is I cut a bit of a base for the belly band journaling card. And the reason for that is the foil just is not quite as sturdy as I would like it to be. So I think adding this layer will add another layer of stability. So this piece is cut at 3 1/4 this way by 4 1/4. And that will be enough to secure the journaling card, which is the 3 by 4. But I digress. So we've got 4 of each of these panels, and this is because you're going to put 2 on the front and then 2 on the back. So we have 4 of these, and my foil, so the background, the first layer, is cut at 2 3/4 by 5 3/4, and so you've got 4 pieces of that. For these ones, these are cut at 2 by 5 3/4. Again, just talking about the foil. And then for the designer paper, in this one, we cut the pieces at 2 1/2 by 5 1/2. And then for the smaller ones, we did 1 3/4 by 5 1/2. So all of these 4 pieces each of the back, the first layer, as well as your designer paper. And then for the very top, the front strip, I should really keep this open so I have something to refer to. This little strip right in the middle, this piece, the foil, will be cut at 1 1/4 by 5 3/4. And so the top designer paper in here is 1 by 5 1/2. And that's it for that. For the top part, for the belly band, I used just a simple journaling card that was found in the paper pack as well. And this journaling card is 3 by 4. So I just wanted to have a little hint. I didn't want to take up too much real estate on the belly band. So the foil is just cut an 1/8 of an inch bigger. So for this piece of foil, it is actually 3 1/8 by 4 1/8, and that's how it layers all together. So it's just a hint of color, and you can always do that with your other pieces as well. I just wanted the foil to really stand out in the other areas. I also cut another piece of foil. I apologize if waving that around, it kind of gets the glare going. I may be putting that on my belly band later. I'm setting it aside for right now because I'm undecided. I didn't do with my original one, but I feel like I might be doing some other tricks for this second one. I just love this card so much. So we're going to do a little bit of scoring on our base. Oh, and that's a little bit of the ephemera that I have going on this card. So I'm going to get out my Score Pal. Pop that, set that aside. Okay, so on the front of the card, we are going to score this at 5 1/4. Make a couple of passes. And then again at 6 3/4. Perfect. Then you're just going to flip it over, and then you're going to score at 3, and you're going to score at 9. Now I know you're probably wondering why we flipped it over, and generally speaking, we just leave it one direction and just do all of our scoring. And that's simply because of how the paper will be folded. So in this case, we are folding this top panel, this middle panel is going upwards. So it just is simply, it's easier with the way that we scored it, it's easier to fold. And then on the sides, these are coming the opposite way. So we've got a valley fold here, which, I mean, I think it's self-explanatory in the sense that it makes the shape of a valley. And then these two folds are mountain folds because it makes the shape of a mountain. So we are going to make all of our folds until you end up with something like this. So I didn't burnish any of my folds. So I'm going to go back and do that. And I'm also checking to make sure everything's in alignment. Otherwise it's going to be quite crooked, which we don't want. Trying to score this kind of upside down, losing track. That's okay. There we go. And the last one. Perfect. All right. And so now it's just a simple matter of doing some layering. So I'm going to start layering these pieces on. I'm going to fast forward because the last thing you need is to just sit here and watch me layer. And I'll be back with you in just a second. Okay, and there we have our front. I love the colors just because they're very, I feel like, unexpected. This aqua blue teal kind of color, which is mirrored also in the pumpkins, I feel like is a little bit unexpected. It's just a interesting pop of color right there. So I'm just going to continue on. Get these back pieces added. And like I said, you can, if you would like, leave one of these panels blank for your sentiment if you want to write something. I would leave these two side ones that I'm putting on right now. These are actually going to flip and they become the front of your card. So if you are going to put anything in writing, I would use the two smaller panels that go on the back that I've done in the plaid that go here and here, because those will not be really seen anywhere except for if the person flips over the card. So it makes the most sense to have these two, you know, do cut out 4 of the larger ones, and that way you've got the front looking just as fabulous as the inside. I, on the other hand, am going to stick these on still. I've cut them, I've layered them. If I do decide to put something on the back of the card, which I figure I am going to do at some point, I am just going to cut another white piece and layer that on top of the plaid, and it'll just be a simple message, Thanksgiving, you know, to whoever it is that I'm going to be giving the card to, the lucky recipient. So hopefully you have some fantastic, I want to say plans, but I know that nowadays it's not quite as easy to make plans that we once used to. So hopefully everybody is still giving thanks for what we have. Okie dokie. And you could also do a small panel in the middle. I've just chosen not to. So that could also be an area that you write in. Even if it's not this way, you could always write a message going up and down. So there we have it. There is our base with all the lovely layers of fall happiness and goodness. And so you see how this folds. This is where it becomes a gatefold, right? So in our previous video, we had just the simple basic gatefold. I don't think I put enough glue on that one. And the gatefold is the fact that it comes to meet in the middle. So that's why you definitely want to have 2 designer papers on the back side. Something to note. So the only other thing that I'm going to layer really quickly is the journaling card on top of the foil. And that's going to go on top of the same color that we have our base cardstock in, which is this lovely orange, kind of like a deep orange. It's definitely not bright, so something definitely reminiscent of pumpkins and fall. So just apply our glue to the corners. Definitely want the corners to all get stuck down nicely. Flip that over. And ta-da! We have our layer. You finagle it a little bit if you need to. And love it. I love how the journaling cards in this pack in particular they all coordinate. If you notice that the leaf pattern that I've chosen for this particular card also had a lovely journaling card that really had the same feel to it. So that worked out really nice. Okay, so for now I'm going to set this aside and we're going to decorate a little bit of this middle piece. And I had a couple of pieces that I pulled out of the Ephemera pack that I really, really loved. A lot of leaves, a lot of sentiment sayings. But ultimately, I love the fact that the harvest was in the same color as the plaid. I'm obsessed with that color. So you have two options. And one option certainly would be putting all this on a dimensional, which I did on my other card and I will be doing on this one. And then I think I will be putting this embrace change as well and just be kind of offsetting the banner a little bit. You do want to be very mindful. Your center piece on this panel really can't extend past this fold line because you're going to want to fold this inwards in order to put your belly band on. So that's just something to note there. So I'm just going to pop this up, put a few dimensionals going all the way down the inside. I don't want to put them side by side, but I do want to stagger them so that they're not just kind of holding on for dear life in a straight line, because I feel like that is probably not going to work out. Could easily be torn off. Oh, just making sure I've got them all unstuck. And then I'm going to put that right there. I mean, this part of it, this is all you. However you want to decorate it, whatever you feel. There's a lot of ephemera in this pack. I believe there's 60 some odd pieces. I think if I could find it. Give me 1 second. 63 pieces. And so you've got some little tiny hearts and you've got some of the bigger sayings and designs and that kind of thing. So I think I'm going to lay this down right here. There, apply a little bit of pressure, not too much. And there we go. So the inside is done. So the next thing is to do your belly band. And so how I do my belly bands, I don't ever score. I just kind of wrap it around, and this way it's never going to be too tight. So you just fold it and just kind of press that down a little bit. And the same thing with this side. Now, don't worry. It's not supposed to meet in the middle. When it's 12 inches long, yes, the card is 6 by 6, but there is a little bit of thickness to that. So that is why your two pieces don't match, but that is totally fine. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to stress about it. That is why we have this piece, because it will cover and hide all of that. The other thing that you can do, certainly, and I think I might do with this one, I just like the way there's just another layer of contrast. So I think I am going to cut this one. Against my better judgment, I think I'm just going to grab a pair of scissors and cut it. So hopefully this works out. And then we're just going to lay that on top And voila. So that will be the first layer. Now, I'm not going to glue this with my card on the inside. I think that's just, I'm just asking for trouble at that point. With my handy dandy glue, will get all over the place, I'm pretty sure. And, you know, even on top of this foil layer, you could easily cut out another strip of whatever the designer paper. I know I had some extra of the plaid, so I could have easily have put another strip of plaid on there. Sorry, I just want to lift that up. I don't want to press too hard because I put glue all the way across this foil piece and it's still a little bit tacky. So I should have, shoulda, coulda, woulda. I should have just put it on either side, but I didn't. So that's okay. That is totally fine. There wasn't a lot of glue there anyways. And then the last thing we do is put that on our little journaling card. And again, I'm going to be eyeballing this. So I just want it down the middle in a little zigzag pattern, and make sure that I got that nicely centered before I really push it down. Oh, it's moving. It's on its way. There, just make sure that that is nice and straight. And there we have it. Let me slip this on to our card, give you the full effect. Oh, there we go. Sometimes putting the belly band on for the first time can be a little bit tricky. I don't know where it's getting hung up. There we go. There. Now, how beautiful is that? And how easy was it? I mean, it's took us all of, well, a few minutes less because I had all the layers done. But realistically, it's not overly complicated. I'm sure that with, you know, if you're just a beginner, that with time and practice, that this, you know, when you follow step by step, it becomes really easy. So there we have it, our pop-out gatefold card for Happy Thanksgiving. And I want to thank you so much for joining me for today's tutorial. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. So if you want to make sure that you don't miss any future videos, tutorials, and whatnot, please make sure that you subscribe. And if you like my video, please give it a thumbs up. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for joining me. Really appreciate it. Have a great day. Stay safe, stay well. Bye.